It is draft week. The NFL draft is this week on Thursday. Thank God, because I am tired of talking about prospects. I'm ready to just get into the real thing, get into the information, jump into it, see who the Lions get to build this roster going forward. On draft night, we're going to be at Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant live, 6 to 12 p.m. Make sure you're there. Myself, Dosa Dion, Everything King, Herman Moore. We got other guests like Devin Gardner going to be showing up. It's going to be an epic time. It's going to be real fun. So make sure you show up. In this video, we're going to be talking about the latest Lions news and rumors. A lot of draft trade buzz. We're going to talk about a specific trade, what it means, what potentially could they do if they make this move. And we have Brad Holmes talking about a specific player that they could look to draft. So that's what we're doing in this video. But before we get into today's video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Hit that like button. It does help out. Let's get this thing going. First off, Brad Holmes talked about a said player, specific player, Bijan Robinson, that he would not pass him up, or he's not overlooking him just because of the running back position. He talked about it, says, yeah, I just kind of like, as they're all football players. Holmes says they're all football players, and if they can help you, they can help you. I understand the narrative about running backs, but if you think the player is that good, then if he's out there producing, I don't think anybody's going to look back and say, in 2016, 17, 18, wow, Todd Gurley, we really picked him at 10. No, he's just a really good running back, and he's one of those top prospects in the draft. Really need to bat an eye about that pick. And that's 100% facts. You know, the narrative is the idea that you don't draft running backs in the first round or early in the draft. But folks, if it is a dynamic running back, Adrian Peterson, right? You get a player like him, Saquon Barkley, if healthy, Todd Gurley, if healthy, or a dynamic player that can really change your offense. Does it matter if you draft him early? If he's that much of a game changer, yes, the concept of him being in the NFL is not going to be as long as other players in a position. But damn, you're trying to win some playoff, you're trying to win the NFC North, and if this guy can take that part of the offense and just make it that much better and explosive, why the hell would you pass it up? I don't really understand that. You just go for your board, BPA. That's the best way to do it. So let me know in the comment section right now. If Bijan Robinson is sitting there at pick 18, would you draft him? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know in the comments below. For me, I'm definitely looking to draft him if he's at pick 18. Now at 6, I think it's a little bit high for me, personally. I think I'd go a different route. That is just me. I like other prospects on there, like Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson if he is available. Other players that can help this team out. But pick 18, I think that's a perfect spot to get a Bijan Robinson to help this Lions run game out in a big way. But let's get into the meat and bones of this video. The rumor right now, trade rumor, that's actually not really a rumor. It's actually a fax, kind of. It came from Albert Breer there from the NFL there. And he stated, for what it's worth, I've heard the Lions already made phone calls of trading down from 18. He wrote for his latest NFL report. So it looks like Brad Holmes, our great GM there, is going to attempt to trade out of the 18th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. If you're a person who likes to trade out, this is the rumor for you. That means you would acquire more draft picks. Go to 18, you could trade out maybe the 20s or a little bit more, pick up more draft capital. Whether it be for this draft or next year's draft, in which I think is what I would do a little bit more ideal. And you say, why would they trade out of this pick? Well, again, like we just stated there, for more draft capital for 2024. Maybe they want to get a couple more picks later in this year's draft, maybe to move back up in the round or pick up another second-round pick, something like that, getting more draft capital, giving more flexibility to Brad Holmes. Or they feel there's a lot of prospects similar draft grades from 18 all the way to the 20s or into the 30s. And they're like, you know what? Let's get more capital. Since it's the same similar graded prospects, why not? And of course, that is exactly what you got to do as a general manager. You got to look at your board and see, can you get similar prospects from a certain selected spot to more? We talk about it with pick 6 all the time. At pick 6, you can get similar graded players at 6 that you can at 11. So you would look to trade back to get the same type of player but pick up more asset. That's exactly what a general manager is supposed to do. That's what their job is all about. Building this football team, getting the best bang for your buck in the NFL draft. If you're Brad Holmes, you're making the phone calls. You're doing exactly what Albert Breer said he's doing. But let me know in the comment section, would you trade out of pick 18? Go from, say, 18 to 25. Let me know. T for trade or P for pass. Let me know in the comments below. It's going to be the pinned comment for this video. Again, hit that like button. It does help out. What are players the Lions could look to acquire if they're wanting to trade out of 18 maybe to 25? What are players in that area that potentially could be available that are still good for our board, good for our football team? Well, one is Trenton Simpson. I think if the Lions were to, and they do like Trenton Simpson, by the way, they've talked to him multiple times, went to his pro days, many things when it comes to Trenton Simpson. You probably could get him later in the first round. You really could. So if they like him and they're like, you know what, it's a little too early for me to draft him at 18, let's go ahead and move back a little bit. We could get Trenton Simpson there. He can fix our defense immediately at the linebacking position that we've hurt for multiple years. Great option. Help the team out. And probably the biggest need besides defensive tackle for this football team is LB. So that is a player there. Another player, O'Cyrus Torrence, Florida guard. I love O'Cyrus Torrence. We do have a need at guard because Big V's contract is small. Clearly shows to me that he's not the future and he's been injured. Graham Glasgow is a one-year deal. He's an old veteran. You do have a need at a long-term guard. O'Cyrus Torrence could be available in the mid-20s. For sure. And they've scouted him. They like him. And imagine getting O'Cyrus Torrence next to Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow. You're talking about making this offensive line ridiculous. That's what it would be because I love O'Cyrus Torrence. And he's starting to slide a little bit late in the first round, maybe even the second round. So that is definitely an option for the Detroit Lions if they wanted to move back and still get a premium talent there. I would love the pick. I think it would be great. What about defensive back? There could be some sliding of DBs. Maybe a Joey Porter Jr. or Cam Smith slides a little bit. I mean, we don't know. I think Joey Porter Jr. is an 18 pick. That's kind of where he's going to go, maybe 15 to 18 in that area. But maybe there's a slide a little bit. We've seen it a million times in the draft where players slide and you don't expect it. So that could be an option. You know, you get a young DB that's going to be on this team for many years because we only got a 2 after this year on a contract. That can definitely be an option for the Detroit Lions to get in that position. What if they do like Hendon Hooker? Hendon Hooker, to me, if they would like to get him, you'd have to probably do it before the Vikings pick, but you could trade back. Now, look, I know a lot of people go nuts and say, Hendon Hooker, there's no way in a first. I do have a second round grade on him, but you got to understand other teams could be different. And so maybe Brad Holmes like him, but not at 18. That is an option there for a player. Maybe they do like a Jack Campbell quite a bit, but they feel 18 is rich. We all love Jack Campbell here in Detroit. That is a player we all covet, no doubt about it. There's a lot of good players that you can get in the mid-20s that you could at 18. And that's the whole idea here. And if you're Brad Holmes, you got to understand that he's doing his due diligence. So any team that is doing their due diligence, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to trade out. It means that they are getting prepared for if a situation happens. You do it now. So say a situation happens, there's already kind of an idea of what the trade is. It's easy. Call up that team. Hey, look, our situation happened. You want to make the deal that we discussed earlier? Yep. No. Maybe so. Because you only got a certain amount of time right on the clock to get it done. And it's the same thing with trading up. And you have to have these deals ready to go. You do. That is what a general manager does and what you got to do for it. But I love hearing these rumors. I like hearing trade backs because it is always good to acquire more capital. And for me personally, I would love to get draft picks for 2024. I would like to get something for next year to help this team out if things don't work out right this year. We have an opportunity the next year to go ahead and target a position that we may need. Maybe there's an injury to Jared Goff and we need to get quarterback. Maybe there's an injury to an offensive lineman or we don't get a DB or something like that. And then we have extra draft capital to jump in 2024 to get a talent that we need for this football team. Good teams have done that. The Philadelphia Eagles showed us what they have done. Keep getting those draft picks for the next year, the next year, the next year. It worked out really well for them. And it worked out well for us the last 2 years. So I would like to personally see that. And I think it would be nice. I don't know at 18, maybe at 6, you could do something a little bit more. Because the value does drop quite a bit from 6 to an 18. So if you're trying to get like a next year's first, you'd probably have to do it at 8 or at 6, not at 18. But let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the trading down scenario from 18. Do you want to do it? T for trade or P for pass. You say no way. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit that like button. Do all that lovely stuff. With that said, folks, adios.